make us leader fan radio network.
Tweet that.
And KFAN.com. 1 minute and 53 seconds past the hour of 3 o'clock. That is Central Standard Time. We welcome you back to a midweek edition of the Bumper to Bumper program. And Guardsy reminds me just before we go on the air that it is a 3-hour tour today. 3-hour tour, Vikings X's and O's into Golden Gopher men's basketball, correct?
That's the schedule.
Golden Gopher men's basketball, undefeated. Golden Gopher women's basketball, undefeated. Is that correct?
Yeah, they remain undefeated, yeah.
Gophers tonight are at the University of Missouri. Is that correct?
Isn't it Missouri University?
Is it?
I don't remember.
Oh, you might be right.
Maybe it's Marquette University, University of Missouri.
It is definitely Marquette University. Yeah. That's who your club dominated yesterday by. Did we run up the score?
A little bit, yeah.
It was like 90-47?
91-47, yeah.
91-47, my God. And Marquette's not supposed to be horrible.
They're not. It was supposed to be a nice test.
Yeah, so maybe that's a good sign for your favorite club or one of your. You got so many clubs.
That's true.
One of your favorite clubs. So we'll see if what the Gopher men. I'm going to admit it. I have not paid. I've paid close enough attention to read game accounts, but I'm waiting for more legitimate opponents, and it sounds like this one might be a little bit, and it's on the road.
Yes.
Very different. I mean, House of Pain at Missouri. Most people know that's one of those places where
Tigers
teams. Is that what they call it?
Sure.
Yeah, that works for me.
I'll say this: you will like how they play.
Well, there's no question about that. That you could tell just by watching his previous teams.
Yes.
Style of play, and again, in the end, it's going to come down to winning or losing.
Of course,
in terms of getting people back in the barn. But aesthetically, I think it's going to be easier to like because of the style, as you say. The ball moves. The players move, correct?
Absolutely.
All those things are 100% true. By the way, I issued a full pelf to your guy, our guy, Richard Pitino. Did you see his tweet from about 18 minutes ago?
I did not, no.
Monday night was on me. I will be better. We will be better. Tough one Friday night at Iowa. So I gave him a full pelf. What happened Monday night? Did they lose to somebody they weren't supposed to lose to? Did he make a couple of boneheaded decisions in the second half of the game? Do we know exactly why Richard Pitino is saying, I'm the guy. Don't point the finger anyplace else but at me. I will accept a full pelf for my coaching performance.
They got run out of the gym by...
Ooh.
Did Steve Nash go to Santa Clara?
Yes, I think that's right.
Yeah, by Steve Nash in Santa Clara, 87-68.
Santa Clara any good?
I think they're okay. They're fine. They're coached by...
Home or road?
I think it was home.
Ooh.
They also lost their exhibition game earlier this year.
Richard Pitino, for those who don't remember, is now at Xavier.
He is, yes. He's not at New Mexico anymore.
Correct.
And they grinded to a victory over Lemoyne last Thursday.
Well, Lemoyne can be plucky.
Yeah, people underestimate Lemoyne.
They always have.
But what you've always said is underestimate Lemoyne at your own peril.
At your own peril, that's right.
Yeah, so it's not going great for him in year 0 at Xavier. And so he's had a couple of those tweets.
Right.
He had to send out a tweet
Be
reminding
careful,
people.
Though, you can't go as Pelf learned, you can't go Pelf every time.
Exactly
that's
right.
The problem.
Exactly right.
Yeah. Well,
he had to remind people that it was an exhibition and it didn't count, which is what Dan Munson once had to do.
That's right.
When Winona State came in here and beat him at the barn, and that's not the company you want to be in. Dan
Munson, there's a name from the past. Is he still coaching?
I think he is at Eastern Washington now.
Oh, really?
Because remember, he got fired at Long Beach State, but they made him finish the season, and then they made the tournament.
Then they made the tournament. That was a good story.
They ran the table.
So now you think he's Eastern Washington?
I think he's back in the Pacific Northwest, I think. Don't quote me.
Yeah. Would still be coaching the Gophers if he were able to knock off Northwestern in the conference tournament. I'm convinced that was what killed him. He just couldn't. That's Northwestern. The style play just doesn't match up with what we like to do.
Bill Carmody, baby.
I was there for some of those games. Bradshaw and Brian KFAN text line is open at 64686. This is a program we affectionately refer to as the afternoon aardvark here on the Fan. Barreiro and Guardsy with you until 6 o'clock tonight on a very balmy for, again, almost mid-November, Minnesota afternoon. And a high, is it tomorrow or Friday? The high is listed as 65 degrees.
That'd be Friday.
Is it Friday? 65 degrees. That's outstanding. And then I think the bottom drops out, but who can argue at this point? Very good guest lineup today, including the 2 Wednesday regulars. Kessler in studio at 5:15, as Guardsy said, and then Mason Your Face to give us what I hope will be an entire hour of Hoosier Hotline between 4 and 5 o'clock. I might allow a little bit of previewing of Gophers Oregon and a little bit of review of Oregon versus Iowa. But other than that, it's going to be a lot of Hoosier Hotline for sure. And maybe a little bit on the juicy new controversy surrounding Brian Kelly at LSU. Because as I understand it, LSU is starting to say, we fired you, or we're going to be able to fire you for cause.
Right.
Which means that we don't have to pay you.
Right.
Not surprisingly, Brian Kelly's people are saying, not so fast, my friend. So there's an interesting battle breaking out there. Like, what would be the for cause? Would it be for affecting a Southern accent? Is that enough to be cause to fire him?
Is that a form of fraud?
Time.
I'm sure fraud is in the contract.
That might be.
Is that a form of fraud?
That
Could you
might
argue
be.
that?
That very well might be. Did you get to see the Northern Lights last night? No, but I heard they were supposed to be spectacular. Were they?
I'm doing the game last night, Gophers Marquette, and my phone just starts going off with like 8 texts from my wife, which I assume means there's been an accident or something.
Sure.
It's not good.
Yeah.
And so I look down, and it's just like 20 photos of the entire neighborhood out admiring the Northern Lights. They look spectacular.
They did look good.
And you can see them from everywhere, it sounds like.
So even in a metro area, they showed up okay? Because I always hear that's better, obviously, if you're in a place away from major cities and all the lights.
That's what my in-laws would tell you. You got to get up, got to get up north by Lake Superior to really appreciate the Northern Lights. But if you cityites want to, take in the junior varsity Northern Lights, you can. They looked pretty good. They were in our driveway. Yeah, basically. Okay. The neighbor girls and our kids were in the driveway. They loved them. Clayton from Rochester, Dan, new wrinkle to the PELF scale. When KOC says it's on him to get the running game going, could you call it the purple PELF? Yes, I guess you could. We could. Did he say that? It's on him to get the running game going? I don't know. When did he say that? Maybe he said that today. I don't know. I do have. Well, it's not. But if that's an accurate reading, the issue isn't getting the running game going. It's using the running game that is going. There you go. Right? I mean, the running game was going this last game. But I indeed digress. They like us. They really like us. I'm assuming you've heard about it. We are going to be the center of the Netflix universe very soon. And the state of hockey is bursting with pride. I'm sure we are. You know about this story? I've heard rumblings. This is Neil Justin's report out of StarTribune.com. 8-part series in which Michelle Monaghan, been in a lot of motion pictures, has she not? Mission Impossible 3, True Detective. Wasn't she in the remake of... oh my God! What was the Charles Grodin movie that was made in Minnesota and then remade many, many years later? It'll come to me in a minute. I thought she was in that film too. She's been in a bunch of movies. Not Beethoven. No, not. That's the only Grodin movie I can think of. That's not the one. She's going to play the coach of a Minnesota high school hockey team in an upcoming drama for Netflix. It's going to be an 8-part series. Hasn't been named yet. Set in a fictional town called South Dorothy. South Dorothy, Minnesota. Okay. And apparently the bid is the local school has a reputation for churning out future National Hockey League stars. But the back story is that the team is in disarray because of a bus accident, which takes the lives of several players and the coach. Oh, no. So you got drama and tragedy early. That's the setup. Yep. So she's going to take the role of Harper Sullivan, the coach's widow, who is tasked with resurrecting the team's spirit. Sadly, the show will not be filmed here. It'll be filmed in Vancouver. That's what I'm bummed about. Yeah. Well, maybe, you know what it is? We probably don't have enough film incentives, tax incentives.
We don't give credits.
We don't believe that kind of nonsense. I know. We should work on that. We should make this a Hollywood destination for films. Make it more attractive.
Oh, and for hockey, it was good enough for Mighty Ducks.
Correct. No other well-known cast names have been announced, but there's some heavy hitters behind the scenes, including showrunner Bridget Bedard and co-executive producer Sean Levy. Stranger Things, All the Light We Cannot See, which, by the way, I thought was not as good as the book, but that's another story for another day. With its visceral sports backdrop and a story grounded in deep humanity, we cannot wait to bring this show to a global audience, according to the executive producer, Sean Levy. Nick Nevada, relatively unknown compared with the other executives, is credited as the show's creator. Now, you may know this. This is not the first time Monahan has played one of us. Do you care to take a wild guess, or maybe more than a guess, at the other?
Well, I read the story.
Oh, you read the story.
I read the story, so that's cheating.
North Country, which I don't remember seeing. 2005, that came out 20 years ago. Set.
It's a good song by Rocket Club.
In the Iron Range. Now, can we assume that Coach Sullivan, Coach Harper Sullivan, will be saddled immediately with sexism? That there will be people who will not accept. No, I should back up. Do we know the team is boy players or girl players? That's not really stated in the story. It is 2025.
That's true.
I'm going to assume it's boy players.
I'm assuming it's boys.
So I'm going to guess one of the early story. You can milk at least 2 or 3 of the 8 parts out of this is. What she doesn't know anything about hockey. I'm glad that she was Coach's wife, but what does she know about the blue line? What does she know about the penalty kill? So I'm guessing she'll have to deal with that right off the bat, and you can build all sorts of spin-offs from that on that basis alone. Could you not?
I'm wondering, did Josh Broughton have a role in this at all? Because he should.
Oh, yeah. I didn't even think of that.
He should. There's got to be some authenticity if they're not going to film it here.
Can he skate?
Well, he's from Minnesota, so probably, even though I can't, and I'm from here.
He's probably too old, though, to be one of the players.
He could be one of the dads of the players.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
He'd be about the age of a high school parent.
I wonder if they still have casting to do.
He's already played a dad in Silver Springs.
You're in touch with him a lot more than I am. Did he know anything about this?
Oh, I'm sure he knew about it. Yeah. He'll probably send me his casting call audition in the next 5 minutes.
Yeah. Need to Watch North Country has an Oscar-nominated role played by Charlize Theron. Okay, maybe I should. Maybe I do actually remember hearing good things about it. There is a ghost town, for all practical purposes, named Dorothy, west of Red Lake Falls near Thief River Falls.
Is that right?
In northwestern Minnesota. Huh. Peter Popsicle is pointing out to Dan that the Northern Lights colors are the same colors as the Minnesota Wild. ...
Didn't help him last night.
We got a point. Not enough? You're getting greedy? We're not going to get 2 points every night.
Oh, I get it. It's the Sharks. They're the greatest young team ever, but they're up 1-0, third period.
Yeah. I think their defense is playing better, but, yeah, you can look it up. 2 points is better than 1. And by the way, that's a bit of a foreshadowing. There's going to be a lot of math on this show today.
Oh, that's not good.
A lot of math. Well, I'm not going to ask you to. Actually, I am going to ask you to solve one problem.
Okay.
Because it's very instructive regarding this particular done as a society-related story.
The Fan and 2 Men and a junk truck want to give you a shot to win bonus bucks with our national cash contest. You can enter the keyword bank at KFAN.com for your shot at winning. KFAN.com, and the keyword is bank. And if you're headed to that tilt on Sunday, come find our street team on the plaza outside U.S. Bank Stadium. Ask how you can enter for a shot at Papa Murphy's Game Day Meal Deals for a year. KFAN.com, keyword calendar for all the details.
There's just a lot of good stuff coming into the Bradshaw and Bryant KFAN text line right now. If you're just joining the program, we were talking earlier off the start of the show about the big news that we're not going to be flyover country, according to Netflix. They are working on or about to begin filming a brand spanking new 8-part series. 8 parts is substantial.
Pretty good.
For maybe year 1, and then if it goes well, allegedly it goes on from there. Set in a fictional Minnesota town. And it's about the high school hockey team that has dealt first with tragedy, and now there's an attempt to put it back together. But because the legendary head coach was killed in this particular bus accident, it turns out his wife, the coach's widow, Harper Sullivan, is going to coach the team. And Larry Mondello guy, who has a lot of good sources, as you know, in the hockey community, reports that Lou Nanne has already stated he does not like the way he is portrayed in the movie or the person.
I wish I would have thought of that.
Play him. You know what? I did think of Louis, but I didn't think of it in that clever a context. Mine was just going to be, I wonder if they're going to use Louis as, like... What do you use for movies like that? Not experts, but consultants.
Yeah.
I might use Louis. So that's not that funny. This is funny. This is brilliant. So Larry Mondello.
Did he walk out of the premiere or almost walk out of the premiere?
I think he walked out of it.
I'm pretty sure he did.
I think he did. Yeah, he still isn't over it. He still isn't over it.
22 years later.
Is this true or is this somebody trying to get me going? This is Tom from Savage. Today at his presser, when asked what the Bears have done to improve Caleb Williams' performances, KOC responded, they've established the run. I could hear the dinner bell of the aardvark. That's from Tom out of Savage. Did he really say that?
I didn't.
Did he say it with a straight face?
I got to figure it out because I listened to most of that press conference.
Maybe he's just trying to get me going.
He may have said that. I know he talked about just Caleb getting the experience and having his success last year at the end of the year and all of that. Right. I didn't hear that specifically, but I'll take the texter at his word. I do have about a 2-minute clip to play during the top 5 at 5 that you might be interested in.
Well, do we want to play it sooner or no? Do we save it for that?
It's kind of up to you.
It's interesting.
It's about his third down play calling.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, we'll hold on to it at least for now, and maybe we can get into it a little bit later. For the moment,
this is the end, my only friend, the end.
All right, do you have a pen?
Yeah, I'm looking for paper, though, so just hang on.
Oh, you don't have a piece of paper?
I got to get some.
Nobody has paper anymore because nobody uses paper anymore.
Well, I use a lot. It's just over in my bag over here.
Oh, I see. All right, well, you reach for your bag. I'll mention the guest lineup the rest of the way. Mace in studio beginning at 4:02. Kessler in studio right after the top 5 at 5. Because we are out early today at 6 o'clock this evening. There's a lot of good stuff to get to with Special K. And he didn't even include in the notes I saw the item you and I both predicted would be at the top of his list. Did you notice that?
I did notice that, but that was almost as predictable. I think he knows it's so big it's going to be brought up.
I see.
That would be my guess.
That could be it.
Because it's too obvious for him to just, throw it in there.
Do you have the paper?
Pen and the paper, yeah.
All right. Here's the arithmetic. I think this would be an arithmetic problem I'm asking you to solve. Okay?
Sure. I have very little confidence.
7 plus 2
Yep.
equals blank plus 6. 7 plus 2 equals blank plus 6.
Isn't that 3 plus 6?
Yes.
Okay.
That even for you didn't have to hesitate all that much.
But I always hesitate because
you think it's a trick.
If it seems so obvious, then I can't possibly have gotten it, even though that one's fairly simple.
The University of California San Diego Math Department administered a test to 138 students in a remedial math class, and 25% of them got that question wrong. 7 plus 2 equals blank plus 6. 1 in 4 could not answer a fairly simple question.
The job is done. We can go home now.
And we come to find out that UC San Diego, in general, has released a new report documenting what they describe as a steep decline in the academic preparedness of its freshmen. Here's the key number. The number of entering students needing remedial math, or worse, if they couldn't solve that very difficult equation, has exploded from 1 out of 100 to 1 out of every 8.
Yeah, it's frustrating.
They've had to create a second remedial class covering elementary and middle school math skills in addition to the one covering gaps from high school. Their report also shows that nearly 1 in 5 students failed to meet entry-level writing requirements. This deterioration coincided with the, wait for it, COVID-19 pandemic and its effects on education, the elimination of standardized testing, a harebrained idea that now I think education folks have figured out and are trying to reverse, grade inflation, a subject we've talked about from time to time, and the expansion of admissions from under-resourced high schools. Seriously. I mean, that's, now again, this is one report, it's one study, it's one school.
That's a tough look, though.
But that's a frightening look. And it is a reminder that as much as COVID-19 and the original response to it was unavoidable and was the correct response, as we talked about as the story sort of developed, there were, I think, way too many school systems that were way too cautious about reopening. And that has come at a cost that everybody predicted was going to be considerable. And now I think we're getting more and more evidence of exactly that. And this is, I mean, I'm serious. Let me repeat the fill in this box. 7 plus 2 equals blank plus 6. So I don't even think it's that tricky where you go, let's see, what's 7 and 2?
Yep.
Well, that would be 9.
That'd be 9.
So if 6 is already there, then I only need 3 more to get to 9. 25% of them. These are kids headed to college, not headed to middle school.
No. I mean, my 3rd grader could do that. I'm pretty sure my 1st grader could probably do that as well. And given my math genetics that I've passed on to them, that's not a reflection on me or my kids. It's just that's a tough one.
That's devastating, man. There's no coming out of that. Nobody wins when standards are lowered. That's the great to all the equity folks, man. That's the cluelessness of that position. Nobody wins bringing everybody down. That's the thing. It's a losing proposition. Teacher texts are coming in fast and furious. Example, I can go to 42 today, right? We're free this hour.
Yes, you can.
I'm a teacher, Dan. You know, you do not know how hard it is to get kids to focus in class and just do basic items like take notes, pay attention, complete assignments, and focus on what is directly in front of them. We've made a huge mistake. Hold on. Scroll down. Let's give this fair representation. In incorporating technology into education, there are many districts that have 1-to-1 ratios of technology and devices for kids all the way down to kindergarten. The term brain rot that many of the middle and high school students use to describe themselves or their peers is truly what we are seeing in education. I can create the most lavish, hands-on, exciting activity for my kids to do in class, but I will have to compete with 10,000 different distractions they can find online and the 20 to 300 second attention span they currently have because of their constant scrolling. We have a generation of screenagers. Get it? Screenagers.
Yeah.
Headed to college and the workforce leaps and bounds behind where they need to be. Well, can we in part reverse this by what seems to be a growing trend in favor of retiring the phones to the front of the classroom? Because there's more and more school systems that seem
I wish we would
to be going in that direction. How much will that change teacher guy or gal? Can you mention where this study was published? University of California, San Diego, apparently. My kid is in 1st grade and learning math equations just like that. That is startling. Bill Maher always says our high schools are graduating kids who know nothing. This is from area code 442? No, 443. Do you know 443? It's a very exotic sounding area code.
443. I'll look it up.
Yeah, 443. Not shocking if you work in schools at all.
Eastern Maryland.
Eastern Maryland.
Baltimore, Annapolis, Columbia.
Good to hear from Eastern Maryland. Have you ever seen cashiers try to make change? Well, I don't even think anybody tries to make change anymore because nobody pays in cash, do they?
Some people do.
Very rarely.
Very rarely, though.
The AI generation has come of age. Now, there are people whose comeback will be, well, I can just figure it out on a calculator.
Which is fine. But
I mean, I'm not sitting here saying, you know, that you got to know every complicated algebraic equation.
Right.
Because many of us don't, and we've, survived okay. But there are basics that you think are helpful, just learning how to cope and to exist and to advance into whatever you're attempting to be. 763 guy is complaining about the fact that we're out again at 6.
Is that right?
He or she is suggesting that let's just stop with the pretense, just make the show 3 to 6. I'd have no argument with that. I don't think you would either.
We'd be fine with that.
But we've been down this road before. And they've got like these fancy charts and analytics about how this station makes money. And there's apparently a very big difference between 6 and 6:30 and 6:30 and 7. And 6 and 6:30 is still big enough that I don't think they're going to let us out, at least on purpose. Now, maybe that'll change someday. I don't know.
They're only going to let us out tonight at 6, tomorrow at 6, and Friday at 6.
Is that why? Friday too? Oh, go for pregame.
Go for pregame out west.
Yeah, I'm annoyed as it is that that's an 8 o'clock game. I wanted to be out at 5.
You were hoping for like a 6 o'clock kick?
I was hoping to be out at 4. Well, 4? Yeah, 4.
Yeah.
I would even taken 7, pregame 5.
Sure.
That's what I thought it was, but it's 8 o'clock start.
It is, yeah.
In Corvallis. Is it Corvallis?
No,
that's
Eugene.
That's Ohio. That's Oregon State.
It is, yeah. We're in Eugene.
Eugene, Oregon. KOC did say that when they check out of a run and complete a pass for a good gain, he counts it in his running game.
He did say that. I did hear that
from
part.
Medina. What does that even mean?
He says that if they have a run play and then they get up to the line of scrimmage and they check out of it because they've shown run, but then the defense is more susceptible to the pass and they pass for 11 yards.
Okay.
They basically count that as a run win, is what he said.
That's just so precious.
It's complicated.
Oh, my God. Okay.
It's complicated.
We're happy for him. Couple more good. There's a lot of good texts. They're coming in on a number of.
I think, by the way, we are very close to a full Zim from KOC. If there's a couple more bad.
Well, I will tell you this. I have to be really careful how I say this, how I present this, because I have to protect sources. It's important to protect your sources.
That's what they say.
So I'm going to try to speak in generalities here. But what I am hearing is that the level of tension in general between the Jackals and the head coach has never approached the current level. That it is palpable, it is personal, and that it's reached a place for whoever you want to blame, that it has never come close to being before. And so to your point, on the inside, when the cameras aren't going, we might already be there. We already might be at full Zim or worse.
Interesting.
So, and then you want to almost examine, what's that about? Is it just the tension that comes with you're an NFL head coach. You got people coming at you all over the place.
Yep.
This season hasn't gone the way it was supposed to go. It has not been smooth to this point. You're coming off 14-3, but you are aware that your administration that you're a part of is still looking for its first playoff victory, right? And that it happens to people. They get tenser. They start wondering where it's going to go. They start wondering how much heat they're going to get maybe internally. But yeah, I don't. So to your point, I don't think you're wrong. And a lot of this goes back it was already manifesting itself in Europe.
It was big time.
Behind the scenes. Not stuff that was necessarily playing out publicly, but that it was definitely there.
I just, in watching the press conferences, my theory on it.
You sense it even in those.
I sense it just how he looks,
yes,
how he's talking. It's the same KOC. He still fills it up, right? He still gives you 3-minute answers, which are great. But my theory is this is the first time he's ever been truly, I think, questioned and rattled as a head coach, because it's been a pretty smooth ride as a head coach, right?
Yes.
He got here. They start winning with Cousins right away. They've got all the crazy, one-score games, the Colts game, the Bills game, and then he's got all the injuries, right, the next year. So you're going to get kind of a grace period through all of that. The Pasternak comes in, and everything looks crazy. We know how last year went. This is the first year where it's bumpy, and he hasn't been beaten up like – I was talking to Rosen about it, because I was saying the same thing to Rosen. And I was saying, I don't know if he's ever going to melt down like Zim would or Denny would or Tice would. But like Tice was in his first head coaching job. And I guess Zim was too, but they haven't been. This is the first time he's really been through the ringer. And I think he's not coming out of it great.
Well, I think part of it too, I think if the longer you're in the place, the more pressure if there's not enough of a payoff. So then that starts building. You start, when am I going to start being on the clock? I think that's part of it. I think another big part of it is, I think he believes that his level of, we can kid about the word salad stuff, and we have a good text on that from even earlier today. But in his mind, he thinks he makes himself available more than most coaches and is willing to take as many questions, even if you don't always love his answers.
Sure.
And so I'm sure in his world, he's going, well,
I'm being cooperative.
Thanks a lot, guys.
Yeah.
All I do is try to give, and now you're going to hammer me. But what he leaves out again is you got to follow the stories. And again, one of those stories that I don't think the organization appreciates the way it's been covered is there. I think I'm in the group that believes that there is every reason to believe that the QB could have come back before he did. And I think that's different than saying they made up the injury. But I think they slow played it. I absolutely believe they slow played it. Think of it this way. I understand for 2 weeks he was only listed as the emergency quarterback. But if you're listed as the emergency quarterback, technically then you got to be ready to play if you have to. Correct?
True.
So I think, I got it. I would say to him, if I sat down, it's like, you may not appreciate the way the story is being covered. You may even not like the way nationally some of the stuff's been written about whether it was a made-up injury. I don't think it was a made-up injury, but I think they slow-played it for whatever reasons. Give him more time to take a deep breath. Whatever the case may be, I believe that's true, and he may disagree and say, I know what happened. And so there is a lot more that's going on here. Real quick, I actually like the show the best when we're exploring two subjects in subjects that are utterly unrelated in the same segment. Math stupidity from our incoming college class, and the current state of media relations between the Jackals and the head coach. I'm a teacher in Minnesota, and the screens issue isn't an issue for phones. They are away for the day. If your students are on their phone, it's because you aren't paying attention to the students well enough. Yes, someone will sneak by and get a good look at it, but that's a few and far between. The issue with students not doing as well as they did in the past is because families do not spend enough time and put priority to their education when they have so many other extracurricular activities that they prioritize over sitting down and helping their student with their work. Now, that's a controversial accusation. I don't know if I fully agree with it, but I don't want to get defensive. It's an interesting point of view, though, definitely worth mentioning. And I guess this probably all depends on the family involved and the amount of input that parents are involved with as well. So it's a combination of pretty much all of those things, I believe. Let's do this. We'll pause here. Don't forget, Mace in Your Face, top of the hour. We'll get into a couple of other controversies that are kind of stuck in my craw before Mace in Your Face takes over. Kessler will follow the top 5 at 5. Monahan played in the remake, the very funny 2007 remake of a motion picture called The Heartbreak Kid, which the original was filmed in part in Minnesota. In fact, Sybil Shepherd, key in that movie, was a University of Minnesota student. Father played by a very, shall we say, tight-lipped Eddie Albert. And in the remake, Ben Stiller, Michelle Monaghan were among the stars of that motion picture I was trying to scramble for.
I can't believe I didn't see that one.
I am surprised you didn't either.
Ben Stiller, that would in 2007, that would have been a big.
It's a funny film.
Okay,
it's not a film for the whole family. I wouldn't say necessarily. There's some stuff you'd have to explain. Although maybe you already have. I don't know how that works.
Watched Happy Gilmore 1 and 2,
okay.
So not a lot of secrets, unfortunately.
Got to factor that in. Burl Oak Chef Guy writes, Dan, KOC's word salad today, answering the direct question in his pass run quotient, gave me a Misty headache on my way home. You guys need to play those 3 to 4 minutes.
A Mr. Misty headache.
It was mush mouth nonsense. Is that what you have for us, or are your 2 minutes different?
No, that's what I have.
Oh, it is what you have.
You want me to grab it?
Yeah, we might as well.
Time.
Now
Hang
we
on,
got
I
some
gotta
time.
find it.
Sure.
I'm laughing about the Mr. Misty headache. That is very specific. Have you ever had a Mr. Misty at Dairy Queen?
I don't think so.
It's like a slushie.
Oh, a slushie. That's what I remember from my younger days.
But it's an intense headache. Is it really? If you drink it too fast.
Too cold? Yeah.
Very much so.
Gotcha.
All right, so this
is KOC today on the run-pass quotient thing?
Yes, Kevin O'Connell on the third and short play calling. And this is in its entirety, unedited.
First and foremost, like in any, healthy discussion, I think you've got to establish what are we talking about from a standpoint of 3rd and 1s, 3rd and 2s, 3rd and 3s, 3rd and 2 to 5, how defenses are going to align, based upon, the front structures that they want to kind of get in. I think, we've had multiple runs called in those situations where parameters maybe take us out of those looks, or we have a run pass solution on them and we've converted, or we've had multiple run plays called on early downs where we've thrown the ball and got an 11-yard completion, got a 9-yard completion. And we look at those as statistically part of the run game. I know that doesn't necessarily fall under that category as a whole, but there's no question if we've had success specifically this year in the short yardage situations. There's been a couple schematical things that have caused us to not convert, but more than likely when we get a hat on a hat and give the ball to JP or Aaron, we've converted those, and I think it's just a matter of, once again, like in the moment, whether it's the third and one chance against Atlanta early on in the year, or the 3rd and 1 from the other day. You as a head coach, and play caller, you're making the decision to, I can't really make the decision based upon missing an open player or having Justin one-on-one for really the only time all day, and that ending up, the last thing you think that's going to do is end up in an interception where you have that run play in mind for 4th and 1, and that's kind of like the quarterback discussion. I mean, it's play calling is something that we put a lot of work in as a staff, and I put a lot of work into it. And it's a results based thing, play to play, game to game. Well aware of that, but that does not mean that I'm not always evaluating the best way to play each and every snap, sequence of games, and ultimately what's best for this team this year. And I'm doing that, and I think you'll see some things reflected in that, but also the defense has a hand in it as well. And the last thing you want to do is just, do it for the sake of doing it and then have it be not as productive as you would hope, just to get some things in a column somewhere.
Oh, sorry. Is that it?
That was it. He would clarify, by the way, statistical column, which I think he meant, maybe people thought, like a Royce column or something.
I hate to say this, but this might be one of those occasions where a Zim answer would have been better.
Less is more.
Would have been like, yeah, we're working on it. Yeah, we're taking that under consideration. I'm serious. I at the end of it, I know what he's trying to say, but it's one of those things where the more you explain, it feels like the more you have to explain. And all those asterisks he offers are legit. Could have been a run call turned into a pass. You got to factor in what you're looking at defensively. But I would argue you can outthink yourself that way too much. And there may be occasions where you say, well, the running game's just going good. It's just going good. We're getting good blocking at the line of scrimmage now that we got at least most of our offensive line together, notwithstanding the center, right? Or the guy we wanted out there at center, who I guess is getting closer.
His practice window's been open. Exactly.
It's just so at the end of it, I think a more guarded, taciturn, is that the word? Answer might serve his purpose better than his effort to try to be, in his mind, as transparent.
Excuse me?
As you can possibly be. I don't know. Let me get to a couple more texts here before the top of the hour break and Mace. Dan, you know this better than most. The Minnesota media isn't exactly jackal-like. Here in Green Bay don't strike me as tough media rooms. Imagine if KOC worked in a large market or a place that has historical excellence. That's from Ryan in Minnetonka. Is it Minnetonka or Minnetrista? Hold on, let me be accurate. Minnetrista, my apologies. Minnetrista. I don't disagree with that. This is not a hardcore in your face. I'm not saying that the Jackals, Seifert, Gessling included, aren't doing their jobs, but I would say this isn't a place where you're going to get a lot of real frontal, in your face questioning that might even in some people's minds and even some Jackals' minds go over the line, but that in a lot of places they just go, in part because that's the norm. It's more expected. So it's not like I think that this guy's under, in that sense, a huge media siege by any stretch of the imagination. Somebody also had texted, well, what if the Vikings had followed up their victory over the Lions by beating the Ravens? I think the implication seems to be there's too much sky is falling. Would people be saying different things right now? The answer is probably yes. Because what we've all been looking for this year is any measure of consistency. That, okay, something's starting to build, something's starting to take hold. And that's why, as good as the Lions game was, it still counts. There's not as much discussion about it now because of what you were back home against a good opponent, but a beatable opponent as far as I'm concerned. And you didn't play you didn't even play close enough to have a chance to win. So, yeah, I mean, there can always be overreaction to any one week, right? But I think we try to be pretty measured about the Lions game. Great all-around game. We've talked the week before about total system failure. This was a total system success. Offense, defense, special teams. But that you see around the league, pretty much every team has one or two or three games like that where they beat somebody they're not supposed to or they play really well and dominate. The idea is, well, how do you get to that place that you want to be like where they were last year? Is you got to have a greater level of consistency, and we're just not seeing it from this club. Mace in your face, lots of college football conversation yet to come. If you have questions for him, 64686, Bradshaw and Bryant KFAN text line. Kessler will follow a very busy top 5 at 5.